Good morning, class 6 students. So, today I'm going to teach you all about electricity. The chapter is all about electricity, but while I was reading this chapter, I found something very similar to a film I saw, which was 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. So, before we start, I'll just tell you something. Now, this is electricity is something we all take for granted today because we are born. When we were born, electricity was there. But although people knew of the existence of electricity for a long time, it was only about 250 years ago that we began to find ways to use it. In 1831, the British scientist Michael Faraday uncovered the principles of electricity generation. Faraday found that he could induce an electric current by moving magnets inside coils of copper wire. In a powerful plant, resources like coal are burned to produce heat in order to convert water into steam. The steam is used to turn an engine into a turbine. So, as the turbine turns or spins, electricity is generated. These days, we are shifting towards using renewable resources like solar power and wind energy to create electricity. If you go to PDCL, you will find out more about that. You could see it there. So, let us get to the chapter. Dr. Aronnax, the narrator of the novel, finds himself a captive aboard the submarine called the Nautilus. Now he finds himself captive. Captive means like he's like imprisoned. Here he learns more about this amazing machine and what runs it from the vessel's captain. So he's learning a lot of things. What runs this machine? Now Nautilus was a submarine, and I was supposed to live my entire life inside this machine. You see, the people who are in the submarine, they stay there for 6 months, maybe a year at a stretch, and they're underwater for a long time. So it was only natural that I should learn as much as possible about its functioning. What he's meaning here that he wanted to learn as much as he could about how it functions, how this thing works. Function means works. I entered the captain's room. It had a severe, almost hermit like appearance. Now, what is a hermit like appearance? A person who, for religious reasons, lives alone and without many possessions. A hermit is a religious person who lives alone, maybe in a cave or something, without any possession, without any things like riches or anything. A small iron bed, stead, a work table, a few pieces of furniture for his toilet. Everything illuminated by indirect light. No comfort, only the barest of necessities. Very few only what was necessary he had. There was no other comforts. Captain Nemo indicated a chair. So Captain Nemo told him to sit on a chair. Please be seated. I sat down and he spoke as follows. Dr. Anox, said Captain Nemo, pointing to the instruments hanging on the walls of his room. So he told Dr. Anox, and he was pointing at the walls to all the instruments. These are the instruments needed for sailing the Nautilus. Here, as in this room, uh, in the salon, I have them always in view, telling me my position. Position means which part of the sea that he is in, and exact direction in the middle of the ocean. Some of them you already know, such as the thermometer, which tells us the temperature inside the Nautilus, the barometer, which measures the weight of the air and hence forecast changes in the weather. Now, these are all the instruments which say what is happening around them so they can manage the submarine. The, the hygrometer, which registers the amount of moisture in the air. The storm glass, whose mixed up contents separate out to herald the arrival of storms. The compass, which shows us the course to take. The sextant, which indicates my latitude by the latitude of the sun. The chronometers, which enable me to calculate my longitude. And lastly, the telescopes for day and night use. Telescope is used for these are all the instruments which are used while they were in the submarine, which are used to examine my every point on the horizon when the Nautilus is on the surface. Now let's go to the next page. You see, you can see this picture here. This is the submarine. These are the usual navigational equipment. Now, navigation is how to plan a route for a ship or other vehicle and taking it there. Today, you have in your cars and buses the Google Maps. Or if you hire Uber or Ola, or you have a private car, a lot of now drivers are using this uh, Google Maps. So that is helping you to navigate and telling you which road to take. So, and I am aware of their functions, but I can see others which must correspond to the special requirements of the Nautilus. He said these, so the author is telling told the captain, I understand, I know most of them uh, of this, but I must correspond. He said I must know more special requirements of the Nautilus. Isn't that dial what the moving needle with the moving needle a pressure gauge? Yes, indeed, it is in contact with the water outside. He said yes, that is in contact with the pressure gauge is in contact with the water outside, and by telling me the pressure indicates what depth my vessel is at. So it tells you the how much deep the vessel the submarine is at. And are these a new kind of sounding instruments? They are thermatic sounding devices registering the temperature at the various depths. So, and these other instruments, those purpose I cannot begin to guess. So the author says those instruments I don't know what is those. So before going any further, Dr. Aronnox, I must explain a few things. So please pay attention to what I say. Captain Nemo paused briefly and then continued. There is one agent which is powerful, responsive, easy to use, suitable for all kind of work, and which reigns supreme on board. It does everything. It provides me with heat and light. It is the soul of my machine. That agent is electricity. So Captain Nemo said, the main agent for the submarine is the electricity because it provides me with all these things. Electricity? I exclaimed, somewhat surprised. Yes, indeed. But Captain, the great speed you move at seems to have little to do with the power of electricity. So the author says, but the speed that you're moving at has got nothing, it's got little to do with the electricity. Until now, the dynamic capacity of electricity has remained very limited, only capable of producing small forces. Dr. Aronnax answered Captain Nemo. My electricity is not the commonly used sort, and that is all that I wish to say on the matter. He says this is not the common type of electricity I use. I will not press the point, monsieur, but merely remain astonished at the outcome. A single question, however, needs no answer. If it seems indiscreet, indiscreet means not careful about what you say or you do. The elements that you use to produce this astonishing agent must be used up quickly. Let's go to the next page. Zinc, for example. How do you replace it since you no longer have any contact with the land? So he said, how do you replace zinc? He asks Captain Nemo. Because you need to get zinc from the land, but you are at sea most of the time. Your question will be answered, replied Captain Nemo. First, let me tell you that there are zinc, iron, silver, and gold deposits on the bottom of the sea whose extraction would certainly be possible. He said, don't worry, I will give you the answer later, but let me tell you that there are gold deposits, silver, zinc, and iron. They are at the bottom of the ocean and they can be extracted. they can be taken out. But I decided to owe nothing to the metals of the earth and simply derive the means to produce my electricity from the sea itself. So he said, I would produce the electricity from the sea itself. Dr. Aronnax, you will see me at work. I will only ask for a little patience, since you have plenty of time to be patient. So Captain Nemo told him, I will only ask you to have a little patience, since you have plenty of time to be patient. Just remember one thing, I owe everything to the sea. It produces electricity, and electricity gives the Nautilus heat, light, and movement. In a word, it gives it life. But not the air you breathe. So Captain Aronnax told Captain Nemo, it gives you everything, but it does not give you the air that you breathe, that your life. It gives a life to the submarine, but not to you. Oh, I could manufacture all the air I need for my consumption. But that would be pointless since I go back to the surface whenever I want. So Captain Nemo said I said, I can manufacture all the oxygen, but that is not needed because whenever I need, I can go up to the surface. I can go up to the surface and I can get plenty of it. But even if electricity does not provide me air for breathing, it does not it does work the powerful pumps that store air in special tanks, thus allowing me to remain at the deepest level as long as I wish. So he said, this is the electricity that provides from the sea. It does provide me for breathing. It does work the powerful pumps that store in air in special tanks so that when they go to the deepest level in the sea, they can breathe. Captain, I can only admire this. You have evidently discovered the real dynamic power of electricity that people will undoubtedly discover one day. I do not know whether they will, replied Captain Nemo, rather coldly. So, in a casual way, he said. But in any case, you are already familiar with the first application that I have made of such an invaluable tool. So he said, anyway, now you are familiar with it. At least you know. It is this agent which gives us light more continuously than the sun could. So this gives us light more continuously than because sun gives us light during the day, not during the night. Look at this clock. It is an electric one and keeps time more accurately than the best chronometers. I have divided into 24 hours like Italian clocks. Since for me there is neither night nor day, sun nor moon, but only the artificial light which I carry with me to the bottom of the seas. Look, it is now 10 in the morning. So he says, see, I keep this clock, it tells me the time. But for me, these things don't matter because I don't know what is day, what is night. Because I'm 24 hours in this artificial light. Because I'm deep down into the sea. I see. Another application of electricity, this dial before our eyes serves to indicate the speed of the Nautilus. So it's another application of electricity is it shows them a dial and tells them this serves to indicate what is the speed of the Nautilus when it's underwater. How fast is it going? An electric circuit connects it to the propeller of the log, and its needle shows me the actual speed of the engine. Look at the moment we are moving at a moderate speed of 15 knots. Now, 15 knots is a unit for measuring the speed of boats and aircraft. Knots are used especially for aircrafts and boats or ships. It's amazing. And I can see, Captain, that you are right to use this agent, which will one day replace wind, water, and steam. Well, let's go to the next last one. Yeah. We haven't finished yet, Dr. Aronnax, said Captain Nemo. Captain Nemo said, we haven't finished. Still, there are many things for me to explain to you. And if you would like to follow me, we will visit the rear section of the Nautilus. Rear section means the back portion. I followed Captain Nemo like an obedient student. Soon a door opened onto the 10-foot kitchen situated between huge storerooms. All the cooking were done with electricity, even more powerful and obedient than gas. So over here he saw there was a huge 10-foot kitchen in between huge storerooms, and all the cooking was done with electricity. The wires under the cookers evenly distributed and maintained the heat over the platinum plates. The electricity also heated distillation devices which used evaporation to provide excellent drinking water. Now, near the kitchen opened a bathroom, comfortable area with taps providing hot or cold water at will. Now, after the kitchen came then the control room. It was 16 feet long, but its doors were closed, and I could not see how it was arranged, which might have told me how many people were required to operate the Nautilus. Now, in the control room is where they control the engines and where they control everything, where the Nautilus goes, and they see if any boats or ships are coming through the telescope. So, but he could not go in there, so he could not tell you how many people were there. At the end was a fourth watertight division separating the control room from the machine room. A door opened, and I found myself in the chamber where Captain Nemo, certainly an engineer of the first order, means that he was a good engineer, had installed his machinery for locomotion. The engine room was brightly lit, more than 20 meters long. It was divided into two clear parts. The first contained the devices for producing the electricity, and the other the mechanism for transmitting the movement to the propeller. I was in complete awe. I was in complete awe at the power of this new agent called electricity. Now, this is what it is, the story about an engine, but the story is about the life of a submarine, but how it is driven, what is the life given to it, or what is the source of life? That is the electricity. Now, this is an extract. Yes, that's what I was saying in the beginning. From 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. It's a movie, and if you see it, it's a very beautiful movie. Yes, that's what I was wondering, because I've seen the movie and the story was reminding me of the movie 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. So, for today, so much, and I will be giving the question answers also today. So, for the next couple of days when I have classes, I will be doing 2 chapters every week with the question answers and the video. So, for you to go through the lesson and write the question answers in the book, because I have to complete the syllabus. Your exams might start in February. So I have to complete. I have no other option. I have to complete two chapters each. So for today, bye, and I will see you later.